So, as the title says, I'm 46 years old and 15 weeks ago, I found out I was pregnant. Thought I'd share my story because I've discovered a lack of material or content out there for women my age that isn't depressing or scary. I was diagnosed with endometriosis when I was 25. I've always had heavy, painful periods. I am also very sensitive to hormones and medications. When I was 38, I was diagnosed with an abnormally thick uterine wall that was probably adenomyosis. My first pregnancy was at 33, and it was a blighted ovum. After months of depression, my husband, then boyfriend, told me we could try for a baby properly, as the initial pregnancy was a whoopsie. After that, we took chances because we both didn't think I would get pregnant very quickly due to my issues. To our shock, I fell pregnant pretty much straight away, and in 2015, my daughter was born. About 3 years later, we thought about having another, and we agreed to take it easy on birth control and see what happens. Because again, I was older and I was not expecting it to happen easily. I felt like my daughter was a miracle at that point. Fell pregnant again, normal pregnancy other than gestational diabetes. Son was born in 2018. He is healthy and hale. In the years since then, I have continued to cope with my endo and adenomyosis symptoms. Around 44, I started getting faint perimenopausal signs: flushing, sweating when it's not even that hot, lessened periods, more frequent migraines. My husband and I read the statistics, and we both were pretty comfortable with the fact that it was unlikely that I would ever get pregnant again. We had one scare in 2022 that ended at only 5 weeks. It felt more like a really bad period than a miscarriage. I was depressed for a few months, but then looking after my two kids kind of distracted me again. You'd think I'd realize that maybe I wasn't as infertile as I had convinced myself, but unfortunately, I have all the self-control of a randy goat when I'm with my dude. Come 2025, after a single month that included a close family death, a camping trip, a funeral, my mom being hospitalized, and my husband's 40th birthday party, I realized that my period was weird. I spotted early, and then it all stopped, and I knew that was not a normal thing at all. I was actually more worried about some kind of fibrous or growth, or even the big C, but I did a pregnancy test anyway, just to reassure myself that I probably wasn't pregnant. Dudes, I was totally pregnant. Being pregnant at my age is the weirdest experience I could possibly imagine. It is so incredibly unlikely and risky and scary. I'll just summarize it all in point form, 'cause this post is already too long. At first, I felt both overjoyed and terrified. My emotions are complicated. I've been mourning my slow-won freedom after raising my son out of very early childhood. I remember saying to myself, this is the last poppy nappy I will ever have to change. Oh, how wrong I was. I'm way more scared of miscarrying or stillbirth than I was the first two times around. I realize that I am positively geriatric in this pregnancy. I feel incredibly alone in my journey. I asked the midwife I see if there are a lot of women around my age having babies. She just chuckled and said, nope. My sister, a nurse, has said to me, I don't know if you realize what a miracle this is, that this happened without IVF. I do know, and it scares me. Jackknifing from perimenopause to pregnancy is so jarring, and I should have known something was up when I saw that my complexion improved dramatically the week my period was due. I just looked dewy, plump, younger. It's probably the most needlessly elaborate and risky way to look younger, full stop. But seriously, I had really started coming to peace with my fertile years being behind me and entering my matriarch phase. I feel like I had a rope tied around me, and someone just yanked me back without warning. I'm rambling. Anyway, I am now 15 weeks pregnant. My 9-week scan was perfect. My vitals are good, and I have been feeling little flutterings when I roll onto my stomach. Briefly, and which is not unusual for a third pregnancy. My NIPET Harmony scan was low risk across the board. I am going for a nuchal scan next week. Are there any other old ass mamas like me? I cannot wait for this to all be over so I know if the baby is all right or not. I'm still in shock, and I'm so deeply happy because I would sometimes get really depressed that I'd never get to be pregnant again.